obviously it leads to the strain. And this is true for soil also. So whenever we stress, or when we apply some pressure or some stress onto the soil, then obviously there is a decrease in volume. Let us say this is a soil mass and this is all saturated. It is saturated. So when we press it, obviously the topsoil, the this may be subjected to the decrease in volume. There may be some decrease in volume. Now, if I presume that the if I presume that water is incompressible and soil is also incompressible, then volume change may not take place. But if we allow any water to squeeze out, if we allow any water to go out of the soil mass, then obviously the delta V will take place. So when there is expulsion of water from the soil mass, then we can say that there is a change in volume, there is a decrease in volume, and this process is called consolidation. Now, the consolidation essentially means that there is expulsion of water from the voids under the action of some stress onto the soil mass. So consolidation basically depends on permeability of soil. So we can say that the change in volume in the soil will take place, or we can say the change in volume means we can say the settlement in the soil mass shall take place when there is expulsion of water, and basically it is the function of the permeability of the soil. So then we can also say that the rate of we can also say that the rate of change of volume, rate of G is directly proportional to the permeability of soil and amount of deformation and amount of deformation per unit increase in stress is called compressibility. So compressibility is an engineering property of soil. It is an engineering property of soil. So we can say that the expulsion of water from the soil, that also leads to compressibility, right? So compressibility, consolidation, these all are interconnected parameters. So friends, what happens that all of you are going to be civil engineers very soon. If you are asked by your parents to construct a house, or alternatively when you will be in your professional career, then if suppose you are asked to construct any project, Then if the soil is saturated there, remember always that there is going to be change in volume of the soil when the foundation or the soil on which the structure is going to come up, it will definitely go under volume change. Now the volume change, I have already explained that this is of consolidation or the compressibility. So your boss may ask you, or your client may ask you, or your father can ask you that when you will explain them that there is going to be some settlement or volume change in the soil, or in the crude language, you will say that there is going to be some settlement. Then the first question everybody will ask you that how much settlement, how much settlement, how much settlement will be there. Secondly, your client may ask you that how long settlement shall take place. Means for how many days, for how many years, how much settlement, then how long, means for how many days this settlement will keep on occurring. These will be the basic questions everybody would like to ask you if that person is not civil engineer. We can say that the total settlement ST, it has three components. One is immediate settlement, then plus SC plus SS. So here this is called primary settlement. This is called primary settlement. This is called secondary settlement, also called as creep, and SI is called immediate. It's called immediate settlement. This is called immediate settlement. Immediate settlement is also called as distortion. Something we call it distortion. So this takes place immediately after the load is imposed, but no volume change. Means some settlement may take place, but there may not be any appreciable amount of volume change. So this is the idealized condition. This is idealized condition. This is idealized condition. And in this case, there is negligible flow of water from the soil. There is negligible flow of water from the soil. Now the immediate settlement I have already defined. So when we design any shallow foundation, then this factor is important for design of shallow foundation. For design of shallow foundation. Now, what is primary settlement? This primary settlement is basically squeezing out of pore water, squeezing out of pore water from a loaded saturated soil causing a time dependent decrease in volume is called primary consolidation. So here rate of flow is controlled here rate of flow is controlled by pore pressure and permeability. So this leads to effective stress condition. Effective stress condition. This leads to effective stress condition. Now, about this secondary consolidation, what is the secondary consolidation? This is also called as creep settlement. So some soils exhibit time dependent settlement at constant effective stress in the post primary consolidation period. This is called secondary consolidation. So this takes place in certain types of soils and these soils are organic soils, organic clays or peats. So this is generally common in these type of soils, organic clays or peats, or we can say stiff clays. Stiff clays. Now, we should always remember that major share is of primary consolidation only. So we can also say that ST is normally SI plus SC. Next page. Now, let us see a little more about this particular property of the soils. So, the first thing is that the granular soils, granular soils, granular soils, their behavior is totally different from clay. Let us see how. Let us say this is a curve. Here on axis, y-axis is the void ratio, E is the void ratio, Here this is 0.75, here this is 0.5, 0.55, 0.6, 0.65, 0.7, something like this. Then on x-axis, this is effective stress. Say this is 20, this is 0, this is 40, 60, 80, 100, something like this. Then if the curve is something like this, if the curve is something like this, then this curve is for loose sand. I am talking of the granular soils. I am not talking of the clays. Then if this is the curve, then this curve is for dense sand. Now, the next curve, this is compression. In percentage, then this is the time in minutes. Seven, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5, 6. This is the compression in percentage. So this is 100%. This is say 0%. It's 20%, 40, 60, 80. Then this curve is something like this. This is again for sand. I am talking of the granular soil, that is the sand or the gravel material. So here you can say that the 100% compression is taking place very fast. I mean, and very fast means in very less time, the 100% compression is achieved. And this is the relationship between the void ratio and the effective stress. Now, if we talk of the clays, Let us see their behavior. Their behavior is something like this, that this is the void ratio. See, this is void ratio can be even higher than 100%. This is 0.2. 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, something like this. And this is effective stress. So this is for clays. And the compression curve, this is time. This is 0, this is 10, then 100, 1000. So this time you see is too high. Here it was too low. Here it was too low. So by these curves, I'm taking the next page. You can see yourself from these curves that the consolidation in clay takes a longer time, much higher time. Let me cite you the example of Leaning Tower of Pisa. In that structure, because 50% of that structure foundation is resting on the clay soil, therefore its consolidation took place more than 200 years. So consolidation can take place for many decades, for many years. Whereas in case of sands or any gravel material, the settlement is immediate. In fact, if you are constructing any structure on the sandy soil, the most of the consolidation will take place during the construction itself. But if it is clay soil, then even after the whole structure is completed, you have started living in that house, the consolidation shall keep on taking place, right? So, for example, the houses constructed in Madhya Pradesh, like Jabalpur, Indore, Bhopal, those houses are generally resting on black cotton soil. Or some students in this class may be from Andhra Pradesh. They are also in some areas like Kakinada and Sikandrabad. Some areas they have clay soils, and therefore the houses which are constructed on these clay soils, the roads are very easily broken, very fast broken, and all the houses, the buildings, structures, they experience lot of cracks. Now, let us try to understand the consolidation theory. Now, this consolidation theory is explained by the piston spring analogy. Now, let us say there is any load of, let us say, 10 kg. This is supported by a spring, and the spring is fitted here. Let us say this distance is Z naught. Let us say on this 10 kg weight, you put another weight of say 2 kg. So this weight will come down here. This weight will come down here. and this distance may be, say, Z1. Now, if you keep this system in a water jar, let us say this is same 10 kg, this is filled up with water, this is water, this is water, and this is Z0. Now, if you put 2 kg on this, then remember always that water is always considered as incompressible material. So what will happen if you keep 2 kg of extra weight on this and water is incompressible? So no change will take place. But if you have any valve system here, say if you have any valve system here, if the valve is closed, nothing will happen. The extra weight shall be taken by the, water will not take place. Water will not take any load. So let me just try to define that this has two conditions. In the first condition, the sigma, the total stress is the effective stress. And in the second condition, when you have put the 2 kg extra weight, then that time also sigma is equal to sigma dash. Now here in the third condition, sigma is equal to sigma dash is equal to 10, and because water is incompressible, so 2 kg weight shall be taken by water itself. So we can say that in the fourth condition, this plus u is the weight taken by the water. So we can say that 12 is equal to 10 plus 2. But now you open the valve. Now you open the valve. So partially open. You don't open full. So it is 10 kg and it was 2 kg. You partially open this valve. Partially open. So we can say in this condition that 12 is equal to 10 plus some weight taken by water plus 2 minus this thing. And in the next condition, when the valve is fully open, this is 10 kg, this is 2 kg, valve is fully open, valve open. So in this case, because valve is open, so no weight is being taken by the water. So friends, these conditions, these equations I have defined here, these conditions define the consolidation process. Here, this diagram, you see in this diagram, the spring is soil. And valve is just the process through which the water is squeezing out from the soil. Valve is the representation of that. So we can say that this analogy can be applied to understand consolidation process consisting of soil water system. So here I have already told that wall opening is function of permeability of soil, is a function of permeability of the soil, right? And the rate of load transfer from water to soil depends on permeability and boundary conditions. That is, boundary conditions means that drainage availability, etc. Drainage availability, etc. The pressure that builds up in pore water is termed as excess pore pressure. Excess pore pressure or excess hydrostatic pressure or hydrodynamic pressure, because it is in excess of initial pressure in water under static condition. Correct? So by this analogy, the consolidation phenomena can be understood. So the reduction in volume of soil, which is due principally to a squeezing out of water from the voids, is termed as primary consolidation or primary compression or primary time effect. Or primary time effect. Then even after the reduction of all excess hydrostatic pressure to zero some compression of soil takes place at a very slow rate this is known as secondary consolidation. Or secondary compression. Now, let us try to understand a little more. Let us say this is the void ratio. This is E, and this is effective pressure, sigma. Then if you, and this is on simple scale. So if this is 0, this is say 1000, and this is 100, 200, 300, like this, and this is the void ratio. This is the void ratio. This is 0.3, for example. This is say 1. Then if you keep on loading the soil, then the curve will take place like this. Then if you withdraw the load, then this curve may bounce back. This curve may bounce back. This may travel backward. But this may not come on its original position. But so this is called expansion of soil. So remember that the clay soil expands also. Now, if you recompress this soil, the recompression will take place. Recompression will take place from here, and the curve will be something like this. So this initial curve, this is called the virgin compression curve. This is called the recompression. It's called recompression. This is expansion, I have already explained you, and this is also called the virgin curve. Because here this blue line, the second part of the curve, the soil is loaded again, and mathematically this curve is defined as E is equal to E naught minus some factor is called Cc So I am writing these factors on the next page here. E naught is equal to initial void ratio corresponding to the initial pressure, then E is equal to void ratio at increased pressure, and Cc is defined as the compression index. This is dimensionless. This is a dimensionless parameter. So Cc is also defined as E0 minus E upon log to the base 10 . So if this curve is drawn on the log scale, and this is void ratio, then this curve is something like this. So the slope of the last leg of this, the slope of the last leg of this curve, the slope of this last leg of this curve, the slope of the last leg of this curve, this gives you this value of Cc. You see, here it is logarithmic. So many investigators have given the value of Cc differently. So Skempton gave the value of Cc as also equal to 0.007 liquid limit minus 10%. Then some other scientists gave the value of Cc as 0.009 liquid limit minus 10%. Then Hogue in 1957 give the expression of Cc as equal to 0.3 into E naught minus 0.27. Here E naught is the in situ void ratio. Now there is another term which will be coming across to you, which is called coefficient of compressibility. AV. AV is defined as E naught minus E upon this thing. And the next term is coefficient of volume change, MV, and MV is defined as or also it is defined as AV upon 1 plus. So these are the terms which you will always, you have to remember. Then the change, this parameter is also important, change in thickness delta H in the soil mass due to pressure increment is defined as delta H is equal to this one. So these are some parameters which you will have to remember. Now friends, I can stop here today. The next thing is that in the evening at 7 o'clock, I have organized a lecture by recently retired Director General of Ordnance Factories, Mr. Hari Mohan. He is going to speak on the our country's self-reliance in the defense sector. So you all are requested to please attend that lecture, and through the chat box, please register your presence. I will note down your presence and give you the due credit for attending the lecture. This is the very important information for all of you. Then tomorrow again, I will be taking the class at 2 o'clock as I took today. So tomorrow also there will be class. So About the tutorial part, I hope all of you must have done the tutorial up to tutorial 6. So, and please submit the tutorials to your concerned teacher and as soon as possible, because uh, I will be finishing the consolidation chapter after taking the 7 lectures. So in consolidation, I have to take 7 lectures as per the syllabus. So then we will give you the tutorial sheet for the consolidation also. So you be very active and energetic and submit all the tutorials. So today 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. please attend the lecture. I am sending you the link of that lecture just after this class. So that will be on Zoom. So please attend that lecture and record your attendance in the chat box. Okay, thank you very much.